In fact, because as if you already know, like leading up to my next question, right? I know if we thought about our parents and their attitude towards liberation and revolution, we've tried to talk about why they may be acting that way, but no problems. We as youths, right? And I want you to speak both for yourself and also to speak as a Nigerian youth.
Okay.
What does revolution and liberation mean to you? And what should be our attitude or approach to it? Okay, so what I was asking is, I think the network is just disturbing a little
Mm,
bit, but we're about to round up. Just about two more questions.
okay.
So anyway, I was asking that you should respond to this one as both yourself as a Nigerian, as a youth, as your own individual,
Okay.
and also as a Nigerian youth, right? That what does revolution and liberation mean to you, and what should be our approach as youth towards it? We've touched on it a little bit, but I want us to emphasize a little bit more. What does it really mean? Because a lot of people, they will tell you, I beg, make I go find money, or I beg, make I go find work.
Mm,
They don't understand what connects revolution or liberation to money or to work. To them, once they have gone to church and gone to work, they are fulfilled. Any other thing is you just stressing yourself unnecessarily. So, what is this revolution we're speaking about? What is this liberation? What does it mean to us? And
So,
what should be our genuine approach to it? Yeah, yeah, I can hear
so
you.
for me personally, when we talk about revolution, it means a lot of things to me. First, it means culture. It means Pan-Africanism. It means socialism. It means consciousness. You see, that is what me I can say, and spirituality, and also coming together. That's what to me revolution means. Because any revolution that is proposed that is not gotten from your culture, that revolution won't last. That is why even when we got independence, we didn't embrace our culture after that. We tried to go the path of European culture and Arab culture. And look at what we have today. Because if we as a people, we kicked out these people, we said, okay, you know what, everybody revert to your, traditional culture, not in the sense of, you know, everybody all at once, but institutions would be styled in our own culture, you know. It would have brought about a society where everybody has a dignity in him, where when he opens a textbook, he sees his African hero. When he goes to the class, he hears about Africa. When he goes to places of worship, even these churches could be, heavily influenced by Africa, African heroes and African liberators. But all those things were not there. When we come across our culture, everything was about how it is demonic. So that affect our mindset. Secondly, Pan-Africanism. Africans don't see themselves as brothers. We see ourselves as competition instead of cooperation. We fail to understand that what's happening to us is only happening to us, that we have nobody except us in this struggle. Nobody's our friend. It's only us that can be friends of each other. And that, because of that, we don't have a support system. Look at our culture. Go back to our culture. When you have age grade, what do you think age grade is about? Do you think it's about people just playing together? No, that's a support system for the youth and for the elders too in the community. So that support system is what fosters love and camaraderie among people that would defend
Exactly.
and protect the culture.
Exactly.
So now, as for me, Pan-Africanism has to come there. It has to come into play. Africans need to see themselves like we are brothers, we are the same thing. We need to fight and defend our dignity. Then I talk of socialism. Africa needs to understand that the government, especially right now, because the populations are now grown, we cannot actually use the communal settings anymore, right? Because before, in the communities, you can have maybe 100,000, 200,000 people, or let's say 10,000 people, which you can still manage. But now we have millions of people living in the city, and services are needed. different services are needed, not the same services our ancestors, used. But some of them
As
are,
the other all the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
some are still validity now. So socialism would bring a situation where the government will use our resources to benefit us as a people, create free education, free housing, job, employment, empower people to study hard, to be anything they want to be, without fear of money when we have all these resources. And in turn, this idea that if socialism comes into place, people will not be able to open businesses and people will not be able to make money. I don't know how people think. How do the government make money? Is it not from small scale? In capitalism, how did the government make money? From at least taxing people and small scale businesses. Now, if the government was saying, okay, government, you provide all these amenities for us
Yeah.
for free and let us run it and tax us, how will you not make your money? How will they not make their money? Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
So how will they not make their money? So socialism has to come into revolution for me. Then we'll talk about consciousness. Consciousness is just being aware. A lot of Nigerians, Africans are not even aware of their reality. We are not aware. We think our reality is that of the Americans or the British gangster, boss man, mafioso, all those. We think that's our reality. And that's why we just behave like the way we behave. Because, I always tell to myself, say, like, as an African, you sit down just for 1 minute or 5 minutes and think, like, what the fuck is happening? And once you just can do that, I believe that you will start seeing that something is wrong somewhere.
Something is rich somewhere.
Something is wrong somewhere. Just 5 minutes, you just know something is wrong somewhere, because it doesn't make sense that we are giving this much hardship to exist as human beings, and some group of people are living fine. Like, how does someone become a billionaire in the midst of poor people that can't be able to live on $2 a day? And someone becomes a billionaire in such midst of people. How? Has he worked that hard? How old is he? Where he work, how he take do am? Which baba cut soap according to them for am wey he dey use? Where does he how he take do am?
It doesn't logically make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But because we don't want to think, we like to live out of our mind. Because if we think now, the problem will be that it will show our own cowardice. That we as a people are refusing to do the right thing. We are refusing to take the right step.
Up.
You see, it will show that we self now, we allow this thing. So in order not to show that side, we no wan even think at all. Make we just dey jaye anyhow, make we hustle money, we go make am. But you no know, say you no go ever fit make am. You can't make am wey dey African people mind. That make am of say make I make am oppress my neighbor. 90% of us never reach am. 90% of us don't ever reach that level.
Exactly. That's true. Yeah.
That can make am wey we want.
No matter how much we pray.
We not going to reach there. Because these people, why they go let you reach there so that you go oppress them with it there now? It's not possible. It's not possible. Let's be realistic. So
That's
for
right.
me, these are the things that revolution just means. Once you key into any of these ideas, you will begin to think like something's wrong. It not dey happen the way it's supposed to happen. And a lot of people don't want to think this way. And as an individual, right? See, I always tell people that you don't need to go school to know something dey wrong with Nigeria and Africa. You don't need to read 10,000 books. You don't even need to be one kind sensational person wey dey exceptional in anything to understand your reality. Just go out, look your people, just get conversation with 1 or 2 people, your brother, your sister. Wetin dey complain about? You go from that place, you go dey pick ideas, say, okay, something dey wrong, because disease wey everybody dey face, meaning say problem dey. That means there has to be a solution. That alone can give you inspiration. So a lot of youth, when we talk about revolution, they feel say na to go carry gun, make we burn down country. You
Yes,
understand?
it
They
is all
think
about destruction.
is being a militant group or militia group. No, I get it. Some revolution gets to that point, but 90% of revolution will start from first your mind, and now that your mind now it go translate into your actions. Say, okay, you go decide, say, okay, now from now on, I go quit every maybe foreign things wey no make sense for my space. I no go dey engage with those kind of things. I no go dey engage with people wey no dey care about us. You know, some the amount of things we engage in as African people is about people that don't even care about us. So I no go dey give those people my time. I would rather they talk about things which concern me, not even concern the whole of Africa, yourself. Because you see, the problem is our problem now, the same problem. So if I dey talk about my shit, now your shit too, me I know. You see now wetin sef dey do you.
Exactly.
So you don't even need to talk about
Yes.
your brother. Talk about yourself. That thing when you talk, they happen to your brother, they happen to your sister, they happen to your people. So that is all you need
We
to
have
just,
one common
you
enemy.
understand? It's happening everywhere. So you don't need any special kit or special calling. This thing will be special calling. This thing, all of us, they face it. And you know, one thing people don't know is that they
It's
always
sad.
think that you when they speak,
It's sad that people feel
or
disconnected
you that is you that is
from it.
speaking, you that is talking about all these things, you are fool. And the masters no go like you, the power that be, the status quo no go like you, they go hate you. In fact, the thing they don't understand is that the status quo now people wey dey talk na im they need. They don't need all those silent ones. They don't like it because they know say they don't win those ones already. Now the ones wey dey talk things wey dey affect, wey dey happen, na im they need, because they know say
Happen. Yeah.
if they fit imagine say they fit buy someone like Seun Kuti for inside, Fela Pikin, David government. Hey, you don't know the kind
Yeah.
conviction
Yeah.
that thing will win people come their
Yeah.
side. You understand? But they no go care about you when they talk about, maybe they talk nonsense, how girls they take behave, how women they take do. They don't go
They be
care
lying
about,
like
because they
you.
know say you don't get any influence to enlighten people. They know say you don't even know the game. You just did here. So these even people where they always feel say, oh, once you speak now, government no go send you. Baba, you will no talk.
Yeah.
Now government
Yes.
no
I
even care
totally
about.
agree with that. Totally
They
agree with
don't
that.
even want you. They don't need you because they know say you don't get anything to speak to say. Now person where they talk. So that's why when Falato say, if you talk, you go die. If you no talk, you go die. So he choose to talk. And that is to be our
Exactly.
mantra.
Exactly.
We go talk, waiting they do us. Anyhow I want to be, we have to see what is wrong with us, what is affecting us. You can't keep quiet. And you can talk in different ways. It doesn't mean you must necessarily put camera for front. You fit join parties. You can create your own small organizations. You can, even if na your family, if na you and your wife you dey even talk with, say okay, or your girlfriend or your brother, and the only people wey you get wey you fit talk with about this your own wetin dey happen, how you think say we fit change am. You no know whether
Yeah.
that person wey you dey talk to now go fit be the next Lumumba, the next Sankara.
Yeah.
You
Tomorrow.
understand? It doesn't have to be you. This thing not be about you, it is about us. So if everybody will do in tiny part, you don't know, no make anybody make you feel say you must do wetin Seun dey do. You must act the way Seun dey act. You must, the only camaraderie wey dey between me and Seun and any other person wey dey talk about African liberation be say we want make Africa free. That is the only thing we get in common. And that is the only important thing that matters. Aside from that, if you like another style of life, I feel like another style of life, no problem. But when it comes to say make Africa free, that thing will hold us in common.
So we need to put our
We
differences
need to
aside.
put our differences. So this thing, this message, you don't get say this is the perfect way. No, this is, you fit tune am to the way it will suit your own way of expressing yourself to get the message out. And I think that is one thing where many youths don't understand. They feel say until when you behave like the way maybe Seun they behave, and because they don't label Seun as something, or you behave like the way Seun already behave because they don't label them as something. So all those things, and you know the system will always label those people bad. So you go the reason say, hey, if I
Yeah.
won't do this thing now, I must be like the system will hate me, system will won't kill me. the system already hates you. The fact that you are born is a problem.
Already,
It's a
without
problem.
even you fighting for yourself,
It's a problem.
you're already
hated.
Yes.
There's no hatred again. The hatred we don't do. Because if you look at our system, the system engages us in this way, life and death. It doesn't engage us out of wrong or right, good or bad. It engages us with life and death. So the system is actively doing things that will kill you. That is what it's doing.
That will keep us down.
Actively doing things that will kill you as a person. Once you are born, from the hospital where they born you, doctor if you forget something for your mama, doctor if you go cut the wrong tube. Doctor fee put you, mistake your file, give you another baby injection, saying that you get. So you see the system from the day you are born, the system don't they plan how to take you out.
At risk already.
So what you gonna be like say okay go happen when no go happen?
So what are you waiting for?
So what we just even if now this way we feel they resist, make noise. Just what could just they push out these informations, right? Might not be useful right now. All the people with me, I use know what I know today, or where I use take as reference. All of them don't die. I don't even know say people like that exist. Now YouTube, I go one day, just a look, from my love of history and history. I be mad fan of Roman culture, Roman civilization.
Bro.
You understand? But I can't look Roman, I go Mongols, I go Chinese, I can say, why my own people now? My people not do this. My people don't show me. So,
they don't come on board. They talk.
They don't get anything. Now, that boss say, Egypt, or say this Egypt not be the waiting the team because all the Egyptian movie now, Arab people they use actor. How is this?
Arab people they act out.
Don't be Arab, get these people, get this civilization. Yeah? Okay, even the song that they like play now, those Arabic songs, no, to make her look more Arabic.
Yeah.
So this
Arabic,
actually no begin get her. So okay, make I look what thing they even happen for the African. When they see some kind of things, and these informations, right, were done by even our ancestors. They were done by people that died maybe 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 30 years ago.
See, check out that job. See all these, and the funny thing, you ask yourself that when these people were writing what they were writing, Chancellor Williams and the rest of them, what were their mates doing? What did their generation they do? It is something like Fela, for example. I was talking to my auntie the other day, and I said to her, when Fela was singing and saying these things to his people when he was, as in Fela alive in person, talking about current affairs. Exactly. Please, what were the rest of the Nigerian men, youths doing? You be surprised. Say they're going to talk to this one. If he's smoky, boy, you go begin to sing rubbish. They will castigate you. They will say that the Igbo way they smoke, that's what is giving you inspiration. If Igbo gives me inspiration to tell you the truth, can't you take the truth and leave the Igbo alone? Let us even agree that he was speaking the truth of their reality under the influence of a herb. Why focus on the herb and leave the reality of truth that he's telling you?
Not be still the same.
So, like you said, this thing we are doing today.
And to show you Africans are very funny. Now them will tell you, say, Oyibo say, kill the messenger. I mean, I take the messenger and don't kill the messenger. I be waiting.
I leave the messenger.
Leave the messenger and take the message. Wait. Why you not leave the messenger? Who be there?
They won't do it.
Take this thing.
Do it.
The same way they will tell you, say,
same thing with us.
Forget what other Christians are doing. Take Jesus. Take the message of Jesus serious. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Why can't you apply that same logic to your own existence? Forget waiting person.
Your own reality.
Maybe the person reality. Say even with the way you appear with your dreads and your beard, there is a lot of Nigerians who will first say, this boss, if he done now those Jamaican guy, we don't get sense, we just do nonsense. You see, they not go try listen to what you tell them. They not go try listen. So
they will put prejudice in front of them.
They talk. You see, they go
The
think say
talk.
those things where you dey talk now out of maybe your appearance, your message, even who you are with, who you are not with, doesn't have anything to do with what you are saying.
Yeah.
What you are saying is what comes from your brain, your thinking faculty. If someone is telling you that, hey, they are unaliving us, they are killing us to gain more wealth, you as a person, no be who they tell you. Now, okay, this person make this statement. Make I check am, wetin dey even happen.
Let me check.
Just
Let me see.
confirm.
Let's look
Let's
into it.
just look into
Yeah.
it. There's no, and that's why me sometimes I understand say na the education wey the elite don't give our society. You understand? Because themselves no go educate you in a way where you will stand up tomorrow say you won't fight them. So I understand our
Yes.
brethren, like their reality. But in as much as I understand, myself now that same education I went through, I'm not special than you.
And if you have the better capacity to break away from it,
Ehen.
I mean,
You can do it yourself.
why are they still calling themselves
You can do it yourself. At some point, okay,
terrorists?
we,
Yes.
we understand, say nature will create some kind things, but we as humanity, we have always, if nature give us this one, we have always find ways to shape nature to suit our advantage. Nobody wey nature give house, now we start to dey build house. Nobody wey nature give cloth, now we start to dey wear clothes. They no born any pikin with clothes.
Yeah.
So if we as human beings who can
Yeah.
think, if naturally your elite will educate you, this na even human being like you educate you in some kind of stupid way of thinking, you said naturally you can unthink that thing and think something different. I believe so. So man, I think that the problem why our
Yeah.
youths they get is that they no want, I don't know, they just feel like the thing no dey important, na money dey important. But the money you know fit, how many work if you work? How many
Yeah.
hustle if you
How
hustle?
many? How many one hustle still live for your children to
And
survive on? Because, like you said, it's not just about what you make individually.
wow,
The institutional investment will take care of you and your children.
how many?
Institutional investment or societal investment or community investment is posterity,
That is
is
it.
what guarantees
It
posterity.
is the institutions that these people we need to empower,
Yeah.
not the individuals in the institution. Because at the end of the day, you will see person will come outside say him must be president. Now we know empower the institution, that's the presidency, to have a way the way the thing no go just person no fit come outside come talk and it will be so. We rather empower that person we talk that thing so that that thing message must be so. That is why
As
someone like Bola can
as
be
Jagaban
president.
way.
Because if not the presidential
Yeah.
institutions they empowered, how Bola will take approach that seat?
How you want to take,
How you want to take do one?
with your
When all the institutions are
criminal
working,
record?
how you want to take do one? We go first screen you.
Yeah.
When we screen you, we just hear say you get one case with one person, you don't disqualify yourself. You see, but because we dey more interested in empowering people in this institution, governor go dey do something out of in gubernatorial power. We go dey hail am, he na good man, he do am, he do am. At the end of the day, we don't know that that thing wey him dey do, him go carry am cross other levels of institutions, and we'll have a reality where one
Exactly.
person fit own the whole country and nobody fit talk. The institution sef wey
Control and
we keep to
monopolize them.
protect us, the citizens, can't even defend us. It can't.
Terrible.
So
Anyways, thank you so much, my brother.
no
It's so
problem.
bad. It's so bad how we approach these things. Now, just for us to round up here,
Mm.
I have some things here that I would not touch. So I'm just going to put it in a way that you will give me either a yes or no answer
Okay,
or
okay.
just one word answer. I'll give you like the option. Is it this or is it that? I will just ask about 3 or 4 of those questions and then we summarize with the last one, which we can just talk about. So, for example, we have the current president of Nigeria, who every suffering Nigerian is unhappy about. And we are also questioning how he became president. We've just talked about it now. This is somebody who was bragging that is his turn and that he will win. Now, I want to ask you, do you think that the current Jagaban Jagaban, the president of Nigeria, do you think he walked his way into power or he prayed his way into power?
He definitely read his way, or will, I don't know,
No,
scatter
sorry,
his way.
I don't even heard the word.
Okay.
No, I said, is it did he walk to get in there? Did he put in effort to get in there? Whether he did something genuine or bad, right? Did he put in actual work to get in there, or did he pray to get in there?
He put in, yes, he walked in a negative way to get in there now. It was work.
Get in there, right? So now we as a people, we the suffering Nigerians, can we work to solve our problems, or can we pray solve our problems away?
You can walk. And that's the only way, sir. No prayer, no drink. That's the only way. Walk. Work hard.
Right. Okay. Because I don't I get where I'm driving at, because many of us understand that we have challenges, societal challenges, but many of us resort to prayer to solve these problems. And there's a reason why I asked you, did Tinubu pray to get there or did he walk to get there? And you said he walked, even though he did negative activities, he walked to get there.
Okay.
The only thing that can counter that his achievement is positive work.
True.
If you get that. If he had prayed to get there, maybe we can pray him out of there. But if he
Exactly.
walked his way into that place, to walk to get him out of there. And not just him, every politician that symbolizes corruption and backwardness in Nigeria and Africa. And like you've just said, I asked again, can we pray our problems away, our political problems away, or can we work to solve them? And you said the only way to solve this thing is by walking, not by praying. For anybody who wants to doubt you, the question is, Africans have been praying, if not any time, since 1900, praying to Jesus. Until today, we are seeing what's happening in the Congo. We are seeing what's happening in South Sudan. We are seeing what's happening before the military took over in Mali. We saw what was going on there. Even Nigeria, that is our own, we see what's happening all over: insecurity, Southern Kaduna, killings, Benue killings, just crisis, East ESN activism, and infiltration of unknown gunmen in the southeast, and all of these things. Our prayers did not shield us or stop terrorism from taking over our land. Our prayers did not stop corrupt politicians from taking charge of leadership and the corridors of power and oppressing our people. If prayers do not work, then my question is, how can we promote love, unity, and collaboration to achieve success? And this is just from your own idea. What do you think can be that thing that can help us promote love, unity, and collaboration that will lead to that work that will set us free?
Cultural identity.
That's the question for today, though.
Yeah, my answer is cultural identity. Because the only thing any nation, any civilization, any whatever you want to call it, can use to liberate themselves, to foster peace, unity, love among themselves is culture. Because culture is the way of life.
Ooh, lovely.
We don't have a cultural identity. That is why there's always interference between us and ourselves. Because once I like my culture and I represent my culture, you that you are a praying Christian, a praying Muslim, you see me as demon. So how can we love ourselves when you, your own self, you are being violated mentally? So how can you don't even love yourself? How do you now want to love me? So I think if we have a cultural identity where people can identify truly with what their culture is actually about, not what these so-called kings, Oba, and whatever is projecting on, because those ones too are coons. You understand? They are coons, right?
Yeah.
If we can really understand the cultural identity of Africa through an African lens, we would know that these things in Africa would not even, we won't be discussing it. It won't be a discussion because already we would know, right? Because everybody will be living in a harmonious way. We will live in peace and love and tranquility. But because of lack of culture, that's why it's all happening this way.
Wow, brother, that's a very powerful response. That's a very powerful, as in that's a very deep response that we do need to promote our culture because it is cultural identity and acceptance that's in your opinion, which I totally agree with,
Yeah.
can be a catalyst to unify us and help us collaborate because that collaboration is highly needed. And like you said, if people keep putting, looking at everybody from a religious lens, we've established that that religious lens is devoid of peace and love because they are highly religious today and we are so divided in hatred and different lines of divisions. So religion cannot even be a catalyst. You cannot even say, let's believe in one God
Yeah.
because this one God tells one man to get married to many wives and not drink alcohol. Tells another man not to marry, drink alcohol, molest children, molest men. So so believing in one God can't even help us foster collaboration because if that God is a God of division and confusion, then we
Yeah.
are only believing in that system of division and confusion. But our culture on the other side, our culture teaches you to value life, both your own life and the next life, the person next to you. Our culture teaches you tolerance. Our culture teaches you collaboration. And if you look at it, it if you see, let's say for example, you're from the western Nigeria and you're schooling in the east, or you're from eastern Nigeria and you're schooling in the west, you will go to the shops in those places. In your hostel, for example, you're living in a hostel, you're from eastern Nigeria, you're living in a hostel in the western Nigeria. These people that are selling food around you will get to know you as a student living in that hostel. And within a short time, you can go to one woman and tell her, Mommy, please, are they hungry? Find me food. If I enter, I go find money, give you. She will give you that food.
True.
She will call you my Peking. My Peking. She does not care if you're from Eastern Nigeria or Northern Nigeria or West. She just sees you as my Peking. That is cultural value. That is not taught in our schools. That is a cultural value that she sees herself as mother and you as child. First. Do you understand me? First, she sees it as you as child, me as we have that cultural hospitality. We have that cultural love and that cultural need or characteristics to show love even to strangers. What more to ourselves? So if we were to promote our own cultural identity and I start loving myself as Igbo and appreciating myself as Igbo, how can I then not appreciate the other brothers and sisters around me in our indigenous cultural differences? Of course, that love has to be. I mean, how long have we existed around each other and we've not even seek to destroy each other, if you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Up until this colonial sentiment and prejudice came in. So I totally agree with you, brother, when you say promoting our culture can be a strong catalyst to unify us because it gives you a sense of awareness of self, appreciation of self, and appreciation of nature. And everybody who appreciates self and nature can collaborate and unite to protect self and protect nature.
True.
I think that's what we do really need. And I mean, thank you so much for saying this because a lot of people will see this information, a lot of people will listen to this, and we hope that our positive message leaves a positive impression
No
in the minds
problem.
of our people. Yeah. So, if you have any last words, anything to say before we round up, I mean, we've come to the end of our session today, and I hope we're able to do this, a few more times just to keep putting out the work out there. I really appreciate you making our time to do this. It was meant to be 1 hour, but see how important and how so easily we've almost gotten to the 2 hour mark.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you leave us, bro.
Well,
But yeah, if you have any last
oh,
word, if you have, we'll keep going. If you have words of encouragement for our youths
well,
and the elderly ones, I'll
well,
focus more on the youth and the elder because
for
when you come to the poor,
okay,
we are
well,
divided this way.
well,
So
for the youth, for me, I would say me self I be youth, right? Me, I'll just say, seek to know your culture. That's, I think, the whole genesis of this problem, if you look at it critically, it's when our cultural spaces
we are cut off.
were cut off, were invaded. Like you said, we have been living amongst ourselves for years, and there is no major recorded war that we went in. We didn't have 100 years war with Igbo and Yoruba or Hausa and Yoruba.
Yeah.
We didn't have 30 years
Or
war.
Zulu.
We didn't, all this hatred, we didn't have it. And, people might even go and say, oh, how do we even going to communicate? We have been communicating since. And we were doing things together. Nobody wants it to dominate
All right.
another person. So I think we need to move closer to our culture, both youth, both adults, because if both of us don't move closer to understand that this love your neighbor as yourself, we are already practicing it before anybody came here. This problem will not stop, because this problem, like I said, is gotten out of hatred and fear. Without these two things, the whole imperialist, colonialist mindset is dead. This is what brings all these things, hatred and fear. So, and our culture is the one of love, peace, unity, where there is no space for hatred or fear. So if we can go closer to it, understand it, and not understand it from a European worldview, because that's another problem. Like I said, all this Europeanness in African culture doesn't explain African culture. Let us go and try to understand it from the grassroots, how it is. Look at the patterns in which we move across the continent. Why do you think you can find Igbo people in Equatorial Guinea, and find them in Nigeria, and find them in other parts of Africa? You can find Yorubas in Ghana. How do you think that if we were killing spree?
Yeah.
Why do you think all the places,
how did our people then spread?
Get there, all the places you find Europeans within the European continent, go and check it. It's through conquest. It's not true we accept you. If you find a piece of France in Britain, it is through one king of France conquering Britain, established people there. It is always about that.
Establishing that side.
You understand?
It's always brutal.
It's all about violence. If you find Spanish people in Germany, it is one king that conquered Germany from Spain and established his peoples there. It's not about just that free movement of we want to share ideas. And that is how, the truth is, how the Africans share ideas. It's through migration. We went all over the continent, sharing ideas amongst ourselves, migrating within ourselves, and sharing our understanding, technology. That's why you can find the traces of Egypt around all Africa. You can find the traces of other African cultures in Egypt. It is not, we were not
Egypt as well.
Just doing things out of doing things. We had intentions. So I think if we can move closer to our culture, these whole problems will even be dealt with once and for all. People won't behave the way they are behaving in the first place. This greediness, self-greediness wouldn't even exist. And if it does, the culture has a way of dealing with it. Because the problem is that now we have a society where the bad things are being exalted, and that's the problem. So why would they stop doing evil things? If the richest man is a drug baron, why would people not sell drugs?
with the hopes of trying to be like him one day.
And what does Western culture do to drug barons? give them political office,
Yeah.
make them CEOs. After all, they are selling drugs.
Ah, yeah.
After all, they are selling drugs now.
Terrible.
That's the line they give us. After all, all the
Yeah.
whole multinationals that are in the pharmaceutical company, what are they? Drug barons. They're selling drugs.
They are drug barons.
They are,
Exactly.
they are selling drugs
Exactly. And
that are
even
killing people.
for people who may think that this is just a regular light joke, even for you to have that license, as the license to be in that pharmaceutical company gives you the license to carry illicit drugs as well, in the name of amusing you produce or
What are they
manufacture.
doing? They are drug
Manufacture
barons.
what? Yeah, yeah. Drugs overhead.
They are. They are drug barons. Well, I don't know. That's why when they
Drugs
bring all
overhead.
these Southern American people and say, oh, they are full of drug barons, I'll be like, all the pharmaceutical company, Pfizer, all those people, what are they? The
Yeah.
drug what?
What I did now.
Legalized drug barons.
Yeah, exactly. They might
Oh,
anyways, yeah,
no.
man, like I said, thanks so much
Okay, I
for
appreciate
coming
that.
on.
I appreciate.
And I hope our youths and our elders listen. Let's draw back. Let's draw closer to our culture.
Yeah, yeah,
Our culture holds our identity.
exactly.
Our culture holds our future. In our culture, you find land, and land gives you resources. Land
Exactly.
gives you position. Land gives you a vantage point. All wars are fought over land.
Exactly.
And when anybody conquers a land, they try to destroy the culture of that land and establish theirs as a mark of conquering.
True.
So let's draw back to our own culture, because it's in our culture that we can find our true identity, we can find our strength, and we can also find our unity. So with that said, we've come to the end of our conversation around religion, parenting, and revolution. Hopefully, I would have my comrade Lekon here sometime soon,
Yeah.
for a different conversation, still
Okay.
around our politics, still around our liberation, because we will continue to say these things until our people are free or until we are no more. So yes, thank you once again
I
for joining.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.